Sori.
That's Booby.
Colby and Chip.
And Muggsy. If you want a nice little Middle America mug or a
Sori secret one.
Sori secret mug, I'd like either one of those.
Yep.
We're gonna do the I like my coffee like I like my
Vin.
I like my metal like I like my Vin, or I like my coffee like I like my Vin black.
Yeah.
This is Change. This is the first Deftones song I'd ever heard in my life. And Deftones came out with this record called White Pony, which was like every other song was girlfriend music.
Oh.
It was all girlfriend
How
stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is this my girlfriend song?
This is like the epitome. This is like the epitome of girlfriend songs in all the world.
Oh, in all the world?
Yep.
It's called Change in the House of Flies?
Yeah. But I mean, Chino Moreno is like the most random. You'll see.
Okay.
This is probably the most coherent song he's ever written.
Okay.
Like lyrically, you'll see. But anyway, for timely topical political commentary, you can hit us up at Middle America with Vin and Sori.
Yeah.
Or
you want to see behind the scenes with our family? Check out My Sori Life.
all right, Change the House of Flies. Let's do it.
Go.
Fly.
Good girlfriend music.
I'm confused.
Well, yeah, the plucking her wings off and stuff like that was not, but it, it sounds very like, doesn't it sound very girlfriend?
Well, yeah, at the beginning when he was saying like he looked away, she was on fire.
Yeah.
Like that, but then like
Firefly.
Yeah, I got that, but then when he took her home and pulled her wings off, who the fuck pulls wings off fireflies?
Well, yeah, I mean that's terrible, but if you ignore that and just listen to the chorus and stuff like that, it's a very romantic song.
Yeah.
Like this record, remember that song with Passenger with Chino?
Yeah.
Roll the windows. It's on the same record.
I do.
It's on the same record.
Yeah.
It's girlfriend music. So you like that song a lot. I like this song. This is my favorite song on that record. But actually, this isn't my favorite song on the record.
You're not like that type of person.
My favorite song is actually Digital Bath. No, I'm not that type of person, but I wasn't looking at it that way. I was just focusing on the Firefly part. I wasn't really looking at... I always took the song as like the person changing in front of you and becoming like this amazing person.
That's what it sounded like to
you,
that part.
You couldn't have anticipated them becoming.
Yeah.
But of course, if you really dig it, and again, this is before, being able to actually look at lyrics. When this came out, and I don't think that White Pony had the lyrics in there either.
Oh.
Because this is like, I bought this, I actually met Deftones.
Oh,
actually,
really?
We cut school and Deftones was at Virgin Records in Manhattan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and to release this. So
wow,
Chino, they were all there.
That's cool.
But you had to buy the record in order to be able to get in line to sign. So I wasn't actually able to actually physically meet them. Then what happened was we were walking around and somebody was like, "Yo, Chi from Deftones, the bassist, is in Virgin Records, just walking around." So we hightailed it back to. Sure enough, she was there, just buying records and stuff. He was out of it. He was on something.
Oh, really?
And like I had my journal, and I had him sign my journal. So like my old journal has a Chi Cheng autograph in it.
Really?
Yeah, because
That's cool.
we didn't do selfies and all that. Unfortunately, the big homie went to the A and Soap. He had a car accident. He held on for like a year and a half and then he died.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Sad, but I met him. In Virgin. We met him in Virgin Records, and like he was like, "Oh, you guys do music?" And because Sharif does music,
Yes.
Sharif, every time we were out, he was telling something. He's like, "Yeah, best of luck to you," blah blah blah, and all that. So he was a really really nice guy. But yeah, he was just very tall.
Really?
Yeah. And his dreads were like down to his like back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
okay.
he was really really cool dude. Really cool dude. And took the time to talk to us. But anyway, when this record came out, man, that came out in the summer for us at least. And
it's a good summer one.
it is a good summer record. I mean, it's got a bunch of girlfriend songs. RX Queen, Teenager, Knife Party, Passenger, obviously, Digital Bath. Like every other song was a girlfriend song.
Digital Bath.
Yeah. Digital Bath is actually my favorite song.
What's it about?
Well, the girl ends up dying basically. At the end of the song.
How nice.
But yeah, it's So Deftones is an interesting band because we're in the middle of New Metal Week, but it doesn't sound like a typical new metal song.
No, I didn't think so either.
And this song has a lot of staying power. This song came out in 2000. I guarantee you, I could plug and play this, and people would like it. You know what I mean? So Deftones were always kind of. It was actually them and Korn. That Deftones and Korn kind of came up together.
Oh, okay.
But Deftones wasn't releasing records at the clip that Korn was. So, what?
Well, that's why your channel grows. You gotta release a lot.
It's true.
They
Korn was doing it like every year or every other year. They were like putting out records. Deftones wasn't like that. Deftones was kind of like, but when they did put out a record, it was like.
It was good.
It's something you'd never, and like, a song like this, like this record, like White Pony, like they were dominating. They dominated. Wow. That summer of 2000, like it was all Deftones, bro. Like Marilyn Manson was
I'm
talking
so
about
bummed
him.
out that I missed out on those experiences.
Yeah, and
where an album is like, it's like your summer album.
oh yeah, and I had gotten with my girlfriend, you know what I mean, and so like it was like perfect girlfriend music, man. Like it was perfect. But yeah, man, like
Sorry, baby just kicked.
oh, is that all right,
Yeah.
Oreo? What's good, buddy? By the time you're watching this, we will be hanging out with the big.
I
homie.
know.
Okay, so what'd you think of the song?
Oh, I liked it. I mean, yeah, I liked it. I liked the way that he sang it. I liked the some of the lyrics until it got to that part. And usually I'm like I'm all about like a little bit of destruction in the romance lyrics, but that kind of like made I don't like the idea of like clipping wings or pulling off wings or like wings. You know, you don't do that. You know what I mean?
Limiting freedom
Yes,
to you.
right.
And you're
right.
you're about your freedom and all that.
So if he wants to bite her neck or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
But don't no.
Well, that's the thing is like, you know, it's very common in metal to make the sick, twisted love song. But you know that it's not a love song really. Like sonically, you hear it, you're like, oh, like Slipknot. You won't believe mine.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
okay, this is not a regular love song.
Yeah, but this one had that.
But this sounds like a love song.
Yeah, and then you're like, wait, what?
And then like you look at what he's saying, and you're like, wait a second.
Hold on.
But it is an interesting thing because it usually happens a lot of times in relationships that the very thing that you admire the person for, when you then get into the relationship, that's the thing that you want to take away. Because why would he want to take away her wings? Well, it's very simple. If he takes away her wings, she can't go anywhere.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So it's actually, it sounds pretty crazy, but that's actually one of the paradoxes of a lot of relationships, where the very thing that attracts you to the person is the very thing that but once you get the person, you're like, oh, okay, we gotta.
Oh, that's a problem.
We gotta clip this wing immediately so that the person will stay with you.
Right.
You know, and then because, you know, having that person have that level of freedom, you know, you don't know if the person's gonna come back. So you gotta kind of clip the wings. So on the one, of course, at the time, I didn't really realize that because I wasn't really into having relationships of like, we used to, like my best friend, he used to talk about wanting to be in a relationship or whatever. We used to make fun of him all the time. Like, look at this guy. You know, we got 1,000 kids in our school. Like, how many girls there are? Like, why are you trying to be in a relationship for? What the hell's wrong with you? But so, all these like nuances and dynamics to relationships, like I didn't really realize, like I didn't understand. Of course, like over time, you're like, oh, okay, like, this happens a lot, right? And then it looks like at the end of the song, the girl ends up like killing it.
I look at the cross and I look away, give you the gun, blow me away.
Right. So she ends up, you know, at some point saying, all right, well, that's the end of that, and then we're done. Why? You see it differently?
I didn't know what that was. Like, I didn't know why all of a sudden we were talking about the cross and killing somebody.
Cause then after he says that, then he says, now you feel alive. You know, and he's basically saying it's like you never had wings, like, which is a really jacked up thing to say.
You found a way to live without those wings.
Well, it's basically like. You know, like if somebody loses weight or something, it's terrible analogy. If somebody loses weight, it's like, oh man, it's like you never had those 40 pounds. Like you're looking really great. And like, this is the way I see you now, and I'm gonna completely forget about how you were before. You know, and so like he's kind of saying that in a celebratory manner. But of course, you as the outsider are supposed to say, whoa, that's nothing to celebrate. Right. Like you changed her in a negative way. Right. Like this is not a positive. Like that's the irony of the song. The song, it's like it's not a positive change. You clip this girl's wings. What the hell is wrong with you? Right. You know what I mean? Like, but that's the genius of the song, is that he's saying it, and it sounds like a love song, but when you really, really look at it, it's like terrible. But at the same time, it's like, I think there's so much genius to that because a lot of us don't really know what love is. And so the character is singing this song as if he's singing a love song when actually he did something extremely hateful to this girl. But he thinks it's love. And that to me is crazy. It's like, whoa, but that's real life. People think that that's love. Like, oh, you know, like you always hear the abusive boyfriend saying, oh, I just didn't want to lose you. Like I say it all the time. I didn't want to lose you. I didn't want to lose you. So the girl's like, oh, okay, well, oh, he clipped my wings because he didn't want to lose me. And look how much he like really jacked up.
Right.
Really jacked up stuff. That's why, you know, when we watch our shows and stuff and the girls are there, like sometimes I'll poke Zoe. I'm like, you see this? You seeing this shit? Like how this dude keeps lying to her and how she keeps accepting it and how she keeps, because like I'm watching these shows and it's like girls are being socialized to accept this shit. And if you don't call it out, call me an SJW, I don't care. But if you don't call it out, it's gonna get wired into the system. Like there's this one person on the show that we're watching who is constantly being lied to by this character. Constantly. So he did it again. So I poked Zoe, I'm like, are you seeing this? Like you better make sure that if you run into a dude and he's constantly lying to you, like be done with it. Like don't get yourself entangled with that type of, but that's the programming and the way that the character is being presented. He's not being he's being presented as like one of the heroes. He's like everybody's favorite character. He's not being presented as a scummy, terrible liar who's abusing this girl psychologically. He's being presented as basically what it came to yesterday was he basically said, this is the way that I am. You need to deal with it. And she's thinking, well, get us out of this trouble and then I'll think about it. So I had to poke Zoe. I'm like, are you seeing this? Like, this is crazy. So I just think a lot of us, I think this song reflects the fact that a lot of us don't know what actual love actually looks like. And so it sounds like a love song. It makes you feel like you're in love. You know, it definitely made me feel like I was listening to this, you know, song. But if you really look at the lyrics, you'll see that he doesn't really love her. You know, he loves the unwinged version of her. That's the thing, is like that's why it's so significant when he says it's like you never had wings. Because it's like, this is the way that I can love you. This is the way I can love you without, because he's got all that fear of losing her, so he's gonna clip her wings, and so now she's a version that he can accept, because he's trying to limit all the angles where she could hurt him. And in doing that, he's stolen the thing from her that makes her her. So it's a pretty crazy, and then of course terrible. It's horrible. But it sounds so loving. Which is kind of love in the Western world right now. Like, we don't get it. So, you know, it's I've always really liked this song. But of course, as I've been in relationships and I've watched relationships and I've watched certain things, I'm like, yo, the song has become even more meaningful. Of course, I was a teenager at the time when I first heard it. So I didn't know any of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but you know, it's definitely one of my, that's one of my principles of relationships, is that I'm gonna let, you know, the person, like, be as much themselves as they possibly can. Like, I've always tried to, like, not be this type of person that clips the wings of the, you know, because I saw my mom, like, she had so much potential, like, my mom did amazing stuff, but she had so much potential to do so many things, but that relationship, and again, like, my stepfather is not a horrible, terrible person. Now he's changed a lot for the better, but at the time when we were coming up, like, he was not good for her. And so, I mean, I saw that happen with my mom. Like, he basically, but part of me feels like she gave him away, though. Like, I can't completely blame him. Like, she gave away her wings to some degree to stay in that relationship. And I think a lot of women make that decision, like, and a lot of guys put the woman in that situation where it's like, look, I'm not gonna deal with you with these wings. Like, you be wingless and we can be together, or you keep your wings or get away from me. Like, you know, like, they get put in those situations, and a lot of them make that decision. So I can't completely blame my stepdad for that. Like, my mom gave him a lot of herself to the relationship that, in my opinion, she shouldn't have. And in my opinion, she'd still be here if she didn't. But you know, the heart wants what the heart wants. I mean, what are you gonna do? And the fact is, at the end of the day, just like this song, when you look closely at the lyrics, it's a really sick song. I am still gonna play this song the hell out of it because I love this song and it makes me feel good. And that's how it is with the relationships, right? It's like, do you not see what this dude is doing to you?
Right.
It's like, yeah, but I really like the, you know what I mean? Like, it's a crazy, crazy situation. But anyway, yeah, I watched you change into a fly. I looked away, you're on fire. It's like, when you first see a fly, it's like, ew, a fly is this disgusting thing. But then, if it's a firefly, now it's like this enchanted, like, almost mythical creature that is spellbound. I remember the first time I saw a firefly, and fireflies are only really that amazing from far away. Because if you go really up close,
and you put a light on them,
and you put a light, and you see, it's like,
I remember we caught a bunch of them and put it in a jar.
Yeah.
And I brought it into the house, into my room, and the next morning I could not believe. I'm like, something happened. I don't know where the fireflies went, but these nasty bugs are inside here. I did not connect that they could have been the same thing because they were so opposite.
Right.
And like, it literally, I remember hitting a point where I'm like, this happened to me a couple of times where like the bugs would get changed in the night because I was a kid, you know, like that was my mindset. So I took the jar in, like I caught one and I went over to the light to see it and I was like, and that was like one of the last times I ever went firefly catching because I was like, I can't believe how nasty that bug is.
That's the thing is, like, sometimes that's how it is in relationships. Like, it's like you admire them from far away, and then you get them under a microscope, you're like, you're just normal like me. So there's some aspects of relationships where it's like you just have to admire it from a distance, and you know, like, let the person be who they are. You know, like, good Lord. But so it's interesting because she changed from a fly into a firefly into a wingless firefly. You know, which is, you know. And that's why I always jumped on that first verse, because to me, that's what the song was about, changing from a fly into a firefly. And that was the end of it. That's as much of the research into the song that I did at the time.
Yep.
You know, and so, you know, now, you know, it's coming full circle. But, you know, to me, like, the song, like, it can go in two angles. One angle is, you know, relationships can make you better, and it can change you from a fly to a firefly. Or relationships can turn you from a firefly into a wingless creature. Like, so you have both of those options in a relationship, and you got to figure out, you know, what effect you're having on the other person. You know, so, or what the effect the other person's having on you.
Right.
All right, what do you give the song?
10.
Yeah, it's definitely a 10. It's definitely a 10. It's a really, 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 really important song. I'm actually debating whether or not. Yeah, I feel like this is an 11-worthy song. And it's so 11s are, it's mandatory. You have to listen to this. And I think the lessons of this song are that important.
Yeah.
And I also think that, like, this is stuff I want this is a song I want the kids to listen to, the boys and the girls. I want them both to listen to it. Like, I want the boys to be like, yo, don't be this guy.
This would be an interesting discussion with them.
Yeah. One of these days we're actually gonna film a discussion on these things and put it on My Story Life, see what happens. But anyway, I think it's mandatory listening because I think there's a lot of good warnings in this song if you can angle them correctly. So it's an 11 for me.
10 for me.
Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.